What is the best DAW? That is a very stupid question because there is no best DAW. Just like there's no best movie, best gym exercise, best food, everyone have their own taste. You can make amazing music with any DAW out there. But the thing is that some DAWs were made with a specific user base in mind, and today this is what we're going to find out. Which DAW is best for your specific musical needs? If you're new to music production and don't know what a DAW is, it stands for Digital Audio Workstation, which is basically what you see in a professional and commercial studio, all these compressors and analog gear with flashing lights around, with tons of cables going all over the place, all of that compacted in your own computer. Technology is amazing, right? And it's basically a software that you use to record, produce, and mix music completely, all on your PC, and some of them even on your smartphones. Think of it as a studio in a box. How many DAWs are out there? Well, quite a lot, and it's depending who you're asking, because you have professional stuff out there like Logic and Pro Tools, and more niche ones like Bitwig or Mixcraft, which are more suited for very specific needs. But to make things a little bit easier, I want to focus on the 8 main DAWs out there that you will probably see in 90% of all users. Let's talk about them and see exactly what you need. Starting with Pro Tools. Wanna know why every pro studio is running Pro Tools? Here's why. Pro Tools have been the backbone of professional recording studios since the 1990s, and there's a reason it's maintained that position for over 3 decades. Originally designed for professional audio post-production and music recording, Pro Tools was built from the ground up to handle large, complex sessions with pristine audio quality. When you walk into any major recording studio, from Abbey Road to Electric Lady, you'll find Pro Tools running the show. It's best for professional recording studios, mixing and mastering engineers, post-production and film scoring, and anyone working in traditional recording environments. Its strength is that it's an industry standard and every professional studio has it, superior audio editing tools, excellent for large track counts, it's the best DAW for mixing due to its routing capabilities, and it has incredible plugin ecosystem. The downsides is that it's only subscription based, so that kind of sucks. It has a pretty steep learning curve and quite intimidating for beginners, has limited MIDI capabilities compared to other DAWs, can look and feel a bit outdated for electronic musicians, and you need to have an iLok account, either physical or on the cloud, which can be kind of annoying sometimes. So to summarize, Pro Tools is absolutely perfect if you want to work in a professional studio, but if you're just a bedroom producer or focusing mostly on beat making and simpler productions, it might be a bit of an overkill. Are you a music producer who is using Mac? Logic Pro might be the best and only $200 you're ever going to need to invest to produce music. Here's why. Logic originally started as a German company's MIDI sequencer called Notator Logic, but Apple bought it in 2002 and transformed it to the powerhouse it is today. What's special about Logic is that they pack so much into a $200 package that would otherwise cost a couple of thousands if you bought all the components separately. And I'm talking about professional grade instruments, a massive sample library, and high quality effects all included. Logic is essentially Apple's way of saying, here is everything you need to do professional music on a Mac. It's best for Mac users, obviously, singers, songwriters and bands, electronic music producers, and anyone wanting professional tools without subscription fees. The strengths are, of course, its price value and everything you're getting from it, including a massive sound library, instruments and effects. It has a very easy to understand and intuitive workflow, incredible MIDI editing, and of course very much integrated with other Apple products. You can also use Logic and other plugins on an iPad. The downsides is that it's obviously just for Mac users, can be pretty CPU hungry on larger projects, and it's not as widely used by many professionals because of the Mac issue. So to summarize, if you own a Mac and you have a little bit of experience with GarageBand, then Logic Pro is an absolute no-brainer. Take it because you'll not regret it. Are you a music producer focusing mostly on electronic music and live performances? Well, Ableton was made especially for you. Launched in 2001, Ableton Live was revolutionary because it was designed from day one to live performance, not just studio productions. The big innovation was the session view, this unique grid-based interface where you can trigger loops and clips in real time, essentially turning your laptop into a live performance instrument. And it wasn't just a studio tool pretending to work live, it was built for the stage. But it's not only meant for electronic music, as many rock and metal musicians produce full songs with it and using it live for backing tracks and experimental sounds. It's best for electronic music producers, live performers, loop-based compositions, and DJs transitioning to production. The strengths are the unique session view for live performances, incredible time stretching and warping, perfect for electronic genres, intuitive workflow for loop-based music, and it also has the Max for Live integration that allows you to create your own instruments and devices. On the downside, it can be quite expensive, not ideal for traditional recordings. It has limited audio editing compared to Pro Tools. If you're moving from a different DAW, it's going to look completely different, so there's a steep learning curve, and it feels a bit limited for orchestral or band recordings. So to summarize, if you're making electronic music, sound design, and you also want to play live, then nothing is better than Ableton. Are you a beatmaker and electronic music producer? FL Studio is the king of beatmaking and loop productions and might be the best choice for you. Here's why. FL Studio, originally Fruity Loops, was created by a Belgian company called ImageLine. It started as a simple drum machine and loop sequencer in the late 90s, but grew into something much bigger. What makes FL Studio special is its accessibility, both in terms of price and learning curve. It became the go-to choice for hip-hop and electronic producers, especially younger generations who couldn't afford expensive studio setups. It's best for hip-hop and trap producers, electronic music, beat makers, and pattern-based compositions. The strength is that it has a lifetime of free updates, has an incredible piano roll, excellent step sequencer, strong pattern-based workflow, and powerful automations. But on the downside, it can look a bit unprofessional to some. The audio recording is not as intuitive as it is in other DAWs, the interface can get very cluttered with bigger projects, and it's not ideal for bands and multi-track recordings. So to summarize, if you're into beatmaking, loop productions, and speed and efficiency, then FL Studio is absolutely incredible. You will not find anything better, and also the free upgrades, chef's kiss. Do you want to have total control over your MIDI devices and produce high quality scoring for movies and basically anything else you can imagine? Then Cubase is the best choice for you. Cubase by Steinberg, the grandfather of all DAWs. This is where everything started. Cubase was launched in 1989, making it one of the first DAWs ever created. Cubase has always been about giving you every possible tool you could need. It's basically like the German approach to software, methodological, comprehensive, and built to last. Cubase has pioneered countless features that other DAWs later adopted, from VST plugins to advanced MIDI editing. It's particularly beloved by film composers and electronic musicians who need serious MIDI capabilities and don't mind diving deep into complex features. Also, wanted to mention a quick note, Cubase probably has some of the best audio editing features out of any DAW, and I will fight you on it. The Very Audio and the audio warping are just incredible. They are built into Cubase, and if you're editing vocalists mostly and guitars, there's nothing better than this. It's best for composers and arrangers, MIDI-heavy productions, orchestral music, and producers who want everything included. The strengths are the comprehensive feature set, excellent MIDI capabilities, professional mixing console, strong notation features, and decades of development and refinement, so it feels very mature. But on the downside, it can be kind of overwhelming for beginners. It is very expensive, both for first-time purchases and for upgrades. Some people don't like the interface so much, and it has a very steep learning curve. So bottom line, if you're looking for something that is an absolute beast in music making and can do absolutely everything, especially if you're focusing more on scoring, then Cubase is absolutely amazing. But like Pro Tools, it might be a bit of an overkill if you're using it just to make beats or something simple. If you're a beginning music producer and care about innovation, looks and speed, then Studio One might be the best DAW for you. Studio One by PreSonus. It's the modern underdog that shaked up the DAW world. Launched in 2009, Studio One was created by former Cubase developers who wanted to build a DAW from scratch for the modern era. They looked at all the legacy baggage that older DAWs carried and said, let's start fresh. The result is a DAW that feels intuitive and modern, with a drag and drop everything philosophy and a clean, uncluttered interface. Think of it like the Tesla of DAWs. Everything just feels more streamlined and thought out. It's best for producers who want a more modern workflow, people who are switching from other DAWs, electronic and pop producers, and anyone who values clean interface design. The strengths are drag and drop system that works on everything, excellent built-in effects, single window workflow, new built-in AI integrations, and if you pay for a subscription, you can also get some extra perks like using Splice to work with samples built into Studio One. On the downside, it has a smaller plugin ecosystem, less industry adoption, Some features feel a little bit incomplete, and because it has a smaller user base, you won't find too many tutorials. So if you want a fast, modern-looking, frustration-free workflow, Studio One is the DAW for you. Are you a music producer on a budget that also likes to customize their entire workspace to however they want to look? Well, Reaper is the absolute best choice for you. Here's why. Reaper is a revolutionary DAW that punches way above its weight class. Created by Justin Frankel, one of the original developers of Winamp, Reaper embodies a completely different philosophy from other DAWs. Instead of trying to be everything to everyone out of the box, Reaper gives you incredibly powerful, lightweight engine and says customize it however you want. And starting from just $60, you can get a software that competes with DAWs costing 10 times as much. But the catch is that the default setting looks extremely ugly and outdated, so you need to work a little bit to make it your own. But there is a very active community that share their own customizations online. It also has a very advanced scripting system that can let you run scripts on the DAW and make some crazy things. It's best for power users who love customizations, budget-conscious professionals, podcast producers, and field recordings and post-productions. The strengths is that it's extremely affordable, highly customizable, very lightweight and stable, and runs on all OS systems including Linux. But on the downside, it has a very ugly default interface, and even if you don't care too much about the UI, it still can be very distracting. It requires a significant setup, it doesn't have any built-in instruments, has a very steep learning curve for customizations, and can feel pretty bare bones right out of the box. So to summarize, if you're on budget and love customizing the crap out of your DAW and you also like to play with scripting and stuff like that, then Reaper is the best choice for you. But it might be a bit intimidating for beginners. Are you a music producer that liked the analog and hardware feeling? Then Reason is the absolute best DAW for you. Reason was created by the Swedish Reason Studios, and it was revolutionary when it launched in the 2000s because it completely reimagined how a DAW could work. Instead of tracks and a timeline, Reason presents you with a virtual rack of hardware devices, synthesizers, drum machines, effect units and samplers, all connected with virtual cables that you can see and manipulate. This unique approach inspired a whole generation of producers and influenced how other DAWs approach virtual instruments. It's best for electronic music producers, people who love hardware workflows, creative sound designs, and producers who think in terms of hardware racks. The strengths are unique rack-based approach, great built-in devices, excellent for sound design, it's very stable and reliable, and has creative routing possibilities that make you fully understand how music is being produced while being routed through different devices. But on the downside, it has a limited third-party plugin support, it can be quite expensive, feels very different and kind of isolated from the rest of the industry. It just recently added the audio recording capabilities, so it's not as mature and developed as in other DAWs, and it has a very steep learning curve for the cable routing. So to summarize, if you're into a hardware-style production and sound design, Reason is absolutely amazing. So with all of these DAWs in mind, how do you choose the best one for you? Ask yourself the following questions. The first one is, what is your budget? Don't go broke because you need a new DAW for music production. You have a wide variety of prices and some of them have a very long trial period. Second, ask yourself what genre you're making. Most electronic producers like Fruity Loops and Ableton, while if you're planning to record mostly rock music or perform in a band or do some orchestral stuff, go with Cubase or Studio One. If you're planning to perform live, then obviously Ableton is the best option for you. If you plan to work in professional studios and collaborate, then Pro Tools is the best. And also ask yourself what is your technical knowledge and experience before buying a DAW, because this can also affect on how hard it is to start. So I would recommend, if you're a complete beginner and have a Mac, go with GarageBand first and then you can upgrade to a Logic Pro. If you're a hip-hop or electronic producer, go with FL Studio or Ableton. If you're planning on multi-track recording, that means more than one person at a time, then you can go with Pro Tools, Cubase or Studio One. If you're worried about a budget, then Reaper or FL Studios are your best options. If you're mostly focusing on mixing, then go with Pro Tools. And if you want a powerhouse that does everything and very fast, my personal recommendation is Cubase, which is the one I'm using for the past 10 plus years. You can also take a look at this table I made to help you decide better on what matters to you the most. You can pause the video or make a screenshot to decide later. So what DAW are you going to choose? And if you already use it, what do you recommend? Did I miss something? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments and share what you like or hate about it. And if you enjoyed this video, a like and subscribe is going to help us tremendously. We're trying to grow the channel and bring you all the information about music production and the music business. If you want to know exactly what you need in order to start music production, press on this video right here. And if you want to see some business related videos, which are even more important than production, check them out right here.